What's up, everybody? This is Titans Rossi. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's subscribed to the channel so far, who's liked and commented on the videos, had a lot of support, and I really appreciate you guys. Getting excited. The 28th training camp starts. We're going to do something special on the channel. Going to have some special guests on the show, and it's going to be awesome. Stay tuned for the first live show. I wanted to start doing live shows kind of when training camp started, and we had a lot of action to report on. Got a few things that I want to discuss today, and there's been some things happening in the NFL. I don't know if you've heard, probably have heard about the news with Delanie Walker and what he said about the Titans recently and his chances of the Hall of Fame. The NFL's got their policy down now for for what's going on in the world with the pandemic. And some players are kind of upset about it, and rightfully so. So let's start off with Delanie Walker today. I know a lot of people have already talked about it, probably done videos about it, but I wanted to give my take on it. He recently said in an interview about how playing for the Titans hurt his chances to be a Hall of Famer, and they were a small market team, and they didn't get the recognition, the big name games, and a lot of that stuff. Delanie Walker, his time with San Francisco, he didn't really produce a lot. His best years were definitely with the Titans. He had a couple seasons, 800 yards, 700 something yards. He had like 4 good seasons here. And to me, I love Delanie Walker. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on Delanie Walker in any stretch of the imagination. But, I mean, he's just not Hall of Fame material. If you look at some of the famous tight ends out there and the great tight ends out there, he just hasn't put up the numbers. Honestly, Delanie, it has nothing to do with playing for Tennessee. If you had 8 seasons with 1,000 yards each, and you were this premier number 1 tight end in the league player, then yeah, I could see that argument being made. But he did play in some primetime games in Tennessee. We didn't have many then because the team just wasn't that great. But I mean, to me, it's I just don't understand why, he's got to say all that about the team. I understand it being a small market thing. I understand all that stuff. But, I mean, I hate to say it, but he just hasn't put up the Hall of Fame numbers, So it goes back to the point of ESPN, all these outlets, Pro Football Focus, they're all, saying that Tennessee's going to be a bust. They rank us 16th or 20th in the power rankings. And I get it. I get it. We are a small market team. Last year and the year before were only the years that we really started picking it up, going to the AFC Championship, winning the division last year. But I believe just based on last year alone and the additions that we got, we should at least be considered top 10, at least on paper. Are we going to do it? I don't know. It remains to be seen. Anything could happen. But I think with the additions that we got, the moves that J-Rob and Vrabel have made, we should be a top 10 team. It just seems like every time, and I hit on this in the last video, every time that I come across ESPN or come across something that's about the Titans from ESPN, they're just hating on us. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me. But whatever, The NFL's new policy on COVID and things like that. They've basically said that, if a team has an outbreak because players were not vaccinated, then that team will forfeit the next game or whatever if they have to miss a game. Here's the major part of it too. they're not going to make up the game like they did last year, because last year they bent over backwards to make these games happen, and I guess they're just not putting up with it this year. I think a lot of it has to do with money. Now, the one of the major things too is they're not gonna to pay players for the lost contest, and that has to do with both teams. Even if the other team is not having to forfeit because or did not have an outbreak, they're not going to get paid either, which I think that's kind of wrong. Yeah, these guys make a lot of money. People try to, people hate on players for making too much money. It's a sport, blah blah blah. But hey, man, there's only so many players. There's only so many players in the NFL. It's a hard league to make it in, just like any major pro league. And I believe that, if these guys, if it's not their fault, why should they not get paid? They said that more than 78% of the players league-wide have had at least one shot, and 14 clubs have had at least 85% of the players vaccinated. Pelissero reported that all 30 teams have at least 50% vaccination rate among players. Now, we are going to have full stadiums this year. I don't know if that's going to change considering what's going on now. It seems to be ramping up even more now. I don't know if that's going to change. So I don't know. I leave that up to the league. I don't want to, have any opinion on that matter. This is not a political channel. This is a sports channel, and it's all about love for the two-tone blue. So anyways, let's get to some pre-training camp news. It looks like that Caleb Farley is not going to start, or is not going to be in the first day of training camp. Not really a surprise. I hope that he does at least make it into, week 2 of training camp. We all know that, especially for a rookie player, and the expectations that Farley has on him to be the starting corner, at least the second corner, opposite of Janoris Jenkins, Jackrabbit Jenkins. We all know that it's hard to just start the season without having any training camp, especially as a rookie. So I really hope that Farley will be healthy. I hope that he can get some good practice in. We desperately need him. Our corners are so young this year. That's one of the many question marks that we have. On Mr. Titan's show last night, he had asked, what are your major concerns to the people in the chat? And everybody's concerns were basically the defensive backfield. I'm not really worried about Amani Hooker. I'm not too worried about Kevin Byard. I think he's going to have a bounce back year. Shout out to the mayor of Murfreesboro. I love Kevin Byard, and I think that he is going to have a bounce back year. The defensive line this year, I think could be one of the better defensive lines that we've had in a while. I mean, you look at the list, going down the list. I mean, they look pretty stout. Danico Autry, Dupree. It looks like Larrell Murchison. He's been working with the famous pass rushing specialist trainer Chuck Smith this offseason. Smith has worked with some of the greatest pass rushers in the history of the league. So I'm really excited about what he can do. I'm excited about, the depth we have. I'm excited, Tier Tart looks like he's going to get his shot. And Aubrey Jones looks like he's going to, Avery Jones, I'm sorry. He's going to provide good depth. We have a lot more depth this year on the defensive line. So it looks, Harold Landry should not have to play as many snaps. So I look for Landry to be pretty good this year. I think he'll get He'll be a lot more fresher. He'll come in with rested legs as long as they dress more than 3 pass rushers this year during the game. So I think the line could be pretty good, y'all. It looks like they're ready to go. Like I said, the cornerback position is very young. So yeah, the offensive line, Dylan Radins, looks like he's probably going to get his shot. I hope that he pans out. I think that he's going to be kind of like our best kept secret. I think he's going to come out and play well. They say the dude is tough. He's nasty on the field. So I think he's going to do well. The tight end situation, it seems like they're happy with what they have in Ferkser and Swaim. So we'll see. We'll see who they're going to keep. Who are the other guys they're going to keep? There are some tight ends that are still available. We'll see who they pick up. I don't know who they're going to pick up. If they do pick up anybody, it looks like they got there's Trey Burton available and Tyler Eifert's still available. Will Zach Ertz? There's news come out recently that Zach Ertz is going to stay in Philadelphia, that he's going to start training camp. I don't think we were going to trade for him anyways. So there's other news with Philadelphia that's come out recently, rumors and stuff that they could be getting a certain quarterback. I don't know if that's going to happen. So anyways, yeah. The wide receiver situation, Vrabel basically after the top 3, Jones, Reynolds, and AJ Brown. After that, Vrabel said it's basically a toss-up. It looks like, a lot of people are really high on Des Fitzpatrick, saying that he's going to be, really good, that he looks good so far in mini camps, but you really can't tell much through mini camps and OTAs and stuff like that. I am really high on Mason Kinsey. I'm excited to see him get another crack at it. Titan Upload is really big on this guy, and so am I. I think he's got some great skill. They brought him back for a reason. So I think that he's going to have a really good shot to make the team. I don't know how many wide receivers they're going to keep. Maybe 6. They really like Nick Westbrook-Akeen. So they'll probably keep him. I don't think Batson's going to make it this year. So yeah, we'll see where that'll pan out. They did pick up Marcus Johnson. That's an interesting pickup. He's had some playing time in Indy. He's put up some yards. So it'll be interesting to see where Marcus Johnson pans out. I don't know. He could make the team, but I don't think Marcus Johnson is going to make the cut. So. Anyways, with that said, guys, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get up to 300 subs and get beyond that. And the channel is going great so far. So excited for training camp. Like I said, we're going to have some special guests. We're going to do a live show. So please stay tuned. I'm going to post the exact times, probably on the community page of the YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. And guys, please follow me on Twitter too, at Titans Rossi. And a big shout out to the Titan Upload Network. Big shout out to Mr. Titan, Titans in Truth, Tennessee Titans Weekly. All these guys who are out there putting in work for the Titans. I see you. I appreciate you. So keep killing it, y'all. Y'all are awesome. And yeah, so I appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned. We got a lot of good content coming. I'm constantly upgrading my equipment, upgrading software for the channel. I started this about a month and a half ago, and I've kind of had to learn on the fly, and I've had a lot of these other Titans YouTubers really help me out, showing me the ropes, showing me how to do things in these editing softwares and stuff like that. And every show, every post is getting better and better. So yeah, please like and subscribe. As we say at the Titan Upload Network, tighten up that like button. Let's go.